5:02 right now, just over 100 days until Election Day. Top Democrats are rallying around the VP after President Biden's historic announcement.
Everyone stopped, I think, when this happened. And
right.
This comes after mounting pressure to step down over concerns about his age and his ability to lead effectively. So we have team coverage for you this morning, everything from what's next for Democrats to new polls and reaction. But right now we're going to start with NBC 10's Manash Kongwari for more details about the decision from Biden to drop out.
And this was a historical decision. Joe Biden is the first sitting president since Lyndon B. Johnson to jump out of a presidential race. But Johnson did so in 1968, 7 months before that election. Joe Biden made this announcement less than 4 months before this election. And he did so just one day after Kamala Harris was here in Provincetown, actually speaking on his behalf. Biden, who is 81 years old, made this decision isolating at his Delaware Beach house after being diagnosed with COVID-19 last week, marking an end to his 52 years in politics. Now, Trump responded by telling NBC News that Biden, quote, is the worst president in the history of the United States by far, and that Biden should have never been in the race in the first place. Area Democrats, though, with a much different response.
It was the right thing to do. We needed this for the country, for the party, and I'm so proud of the president for making this decision. More than half the country did not want either Biden or Trump to be the nominee. One party has said, we hear you, America, and we're making a change. That's the Democratic Party.
Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren also chiming in with a statement saying in part, quote, Joe Biden willingly stepped aside in order to protect our democracy. President Biden's selfless action is a profound gift to the people of the United States, and it's on all of us not to waste it. The Democratic National Convention is less than a month away. There we should learn who will be replacing President Joe Biden atop the Democratic ticket. But for more on what will happen next, I'm going to toss it back to you guys at the desk. Right now, we're live here in Boston. Manash Kongwari, NBC 10 Boston.
Okay, Manash, thank you. Vice President Kamala Harris is the front runner for the Democratic presidential nomination. And according to a New York Times poll, she trails Donald Trump by 2 percentage points, on average at 46% to 48% when it comes to voters. So what will happen next? The Vice President Harris still has to gain a lot of support from Democrats to get her name on the November ballot.
So NBC 10's Alicia Palumbo, she's live in Boston. More details on this. Alicia, what do we know about the vice president? Where do we go from here?
Well, Lauren, let's break down the timeline for you. We've got less than 4 months until the election, just 4 weeks until the Democratic National Convention, and this just absolutely turns this election on its head, especially for the Democrats. Of course, President Biden endorsing Vice President Harris yesterday, but the delegates Biden won in the primaries do not automatically transfer to Harris, of course. We are seeing a surge in support for her, some coming from politicians who may be vying for a VP nod, like California Governor Gavin Newsom and Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg. But someone else can still challenge for that nomination. In fact, two sources who spoke with West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin tell NBC News he is considering a run of his own. Now, political strategists on both sides of the aisle seem to agree by waiting until late July to step aside, Biden and his campaign managers haven't given Kamala Harris enough room to succeed.
She's smart and she's capable and she's qualified, but I don't think there's enough room to be able to turn around this race. And I think this is a setup. This didn't just start with the debate. They should have been preparing her then. And to throw her into this right now is unfair.
I'm not sure if the timing is a little too late. But we'll see in the next, coming weeks how this unfolds for the Democrat. And I think for once, as a Republican, I'm happy to sit back and kind of watch their party in disarray.
Now, the other deadline that is also looming is August 7th. That was the previously scheduled day to virtually vote for a Democratic nominee, also the day to get on the Ohio ballot. We're live in Boston. Alicia Palumbo, NBC 10 Boston.